Another odd moment from Donald Trump's bizarre and bloviating press conference last week was when Donald Trump said, hey, the public has no interest in seeing my tax returns. Only media cares about that. That could not be further from the truth. According to a new ABC News poll, 74% of Americans want to see Trump's tax returns. This is even more than the number that wanted to see them before the election. Trump's anticipated reaction at 3:30 a.m. on Twitter, I don't know, probably something like 74% of Americans are buying into fake news. They're dumb enough to pay taxes, unlike me. That makes me smart. Sad, low energy. I haven't actually seen that tweet, Pat, but I'm sure Trump will write it off as no big deal, as he does with most things. Also from the same poll, before he even takes office, 43% of Americans already believe Trump is not abiding by federal ethics laws. I'm glad Trump is really draining the swamp and fighting corruption and exhibiting full transparency by showing us what potential conflicts of interest. Oh, wait a second. No, he's not doing that at all. And the funny thing is, he's forgetting the entire thing he repeated countless times. I can't release the tax returns because I'm being audited. I'll release them as soon as the audit is done. Of course, not that that matters. The IRS has already said an audit doesn't prevent you from releasing tax returns. But Trump will never release the tax returns. The only option, as I've mentioned, is hacking them. Go back to 2011. In 2011, Trump said, we'll look at that. Maybe I'm going to do the tax returns when Obama does his birth certificate. I'd love to give you my tax returns. Of course, we got the birth certificate, still no taxes. 2014, Trump saying, if I decide to run for office, I'll produce my tax returns, absolutely, and I would love to do that. No tax returns. Trump in 2015, I would certainly show my tax returns if necessary. Well, I guess that he doesn't find it to be necessary. And I won't even give you the list of 2016 quotes because the show is only an hour long. Reporters, rather than standing aside while Trump bashes CNN in public, they should unite and just ask Trump about the tax returns at every opportunity. Every press conference, Rachel, the question should be, when will you release your tax returns? We want to see what's in there. We need to figure out what conflicts of interest there are. And there's this unwritten rule that sort of exists among reporters, which is if another reporter is sort of not allowed to ask a question, whoever gets called on next can ask the question that the ignored reporter was going to ask. And I think that here, this needs to be sort of applied as a group. 74% of Americans want those tax returns. Every reporter should just ask for them every time they get a chance to ask a question.
Oh, they totally should. But then there's people like Breitbart who will just release an article and say, oh, no, it's totally OK. And Elizabeth Warren's potential bill is just an attack on Trump. And when John Kerry's wife only released the first 2 summary pages and no one noticed there. So,
oh, yeah.
So those journalists will support him. They won't ask.
The best move for me from the entire press conference was immediately after calling CNN fake news. He goes, Breitbart, what question would you like to ask us?
Yeah, and that was the first press conference in a long time. So you could see that if they keep going after him on these tax returns, he could just shut down altogether and not have any more of them.
Oh, yeah. And I know that is something he said. He's not going to be like Hillary, who didn't do a press conferences for a very long time. Trump's going to do press conferences. I hope he sticks to that, but I am not convinced that if it starts getting adversarial, the press conferences will continue. Thanks for watching this video. Before you watch the next one, remember, we're raising money to expand the David Pakman Show Big League, as well as expand progressive activism. Go to davidpakman.com/donate. Donations of any size are much appreciated.